Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie Brinkerhoff with Hair and Makeup by Steph, and I'm here with Kenra Professional to walk you guys through how I would create a voluminous ponytail. So ponytails can seem fairly simple overall, but what takes a ponytail from good to great happens in the details. So I'm going to walk you guys through how I would create good volume and texture, framing the face, and just creating a really pretty shape overall. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first thing I want to do is create some texture at the roots. So I'm going to do that by applying the Kenra Volumizing powder, and that's just going to help with the texture and the volume and the security of the ponytail. So I'm just going to go in all throughout her hair and pump this in at the roots. And then once I get that in, I'll just work it through with my fingers. Okay, the next thing I want to do is just create a really loose wave in her hair. So I'm gonna go in with the Kenra Heat Cast Spray 12. And this is just a good thermal protectant with a little bit of hold. So I'm just misting this through the ends. And then I'm going to go in with a 1 1/4 inch curling iron, and I'm just going to get the mid shafts curled. So I'm leaving the ends straight and the roots. So I'm basically just creating a little bit of bend throughout the middle of the strand. And I'm going to alternate directions that I'm curling. That way, once you get the ponytail up, it won't all blend together and become one uniform wave. It will be broken up and stay nice and voluminous. Okay, so this is what you're going for, just a really soft, beachy wave with straight ends. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with some of the Kenra spray clay. This is gonna help add texture and also build bulk and volume in there. So I'm kind of lifting up the hair and directing it at the roots and then working it through the ends with my hands. So you can see already the amount of texture and lift that that is creating. Now I'm going to get the front portion of the hair clipped aside for later. So I'm really just doing everything from the ears and forward. And I want to leave this out so I can use it for detailing and so I can really take my time with it, framing it, how it looks around the face, all of that. Okay, so I'm just getting that clipped aside. And then I'm gonna go in and add some back combing through the roots, just in the crown section up here. Okay, so this top part of the hair is going to get directed straight back. I'll get that back combed. And then I'm gonna lock that in place with the Volume Spray 25. Okay, now that I have that back combing in there, I'm at the point where I can gather all of this hair and get it up in a high ponytail. So I definitely want this to have some nice lift in it, so I'm directing everything up here in the back. And you can sit it really wherever you want. I'm gonna sit hers a little bit higher. And as I'm doing this, I kind of like to take a step back and look at it from the sides, make sure it's looking good from the profile and sitting where I want it to. Okay, once I have that in there, I'm going to detail a little bit throughout the roots. So I'm not pulling out too much because I don't want this to be too loose, but I just want to bring back a little bit of that texture in there. At this point, I can go ahead and let down the front. So I'm going to get this back combed and get some more of the spray clay in there and get everything directed back to the elastic back here. So I like to do this front part separately just so I can really take my time detailing it, make sure I look how I want it to, make sure it's framing the face the right way. So I'll lock that in again with the Volume Spray 25. Okay, so I'm just using the spray clay and my fingers to add a little bit more texture in there and build some bulk and some volume up here around the face. And then once this is looking how I want it to, I'll just get that secured with a bobby pin right next to the elastic back here. Okay, and then before I move on, I'm just going to step around to the front and double check it from there and then do some detailing to make sure it's looking how I want it to. Okay, now to make this all a little bit cleaner back here, I'm just going to go in with one more small elastic and grab the rest of the hair that I pulled back so it's all in one place. Okay, and then I'm going to take a small strand underneath and just wrap this around the elastic to hide it and then bobby pin that in place in the back underneath. Okay, I'm going to spray some more of the Volume Spray 25. And then to finish, I'm just going to go in and add a teeny bit more lift in the ponytail. So I'm just going to back comb right underneath here at the top. And then go in with some more of the spray clay and just focus that right here at the base of the ponytail to give that a little bit more lift. Sometimes what I like to do as well, if you want even more lift through here and a little bit more security, is I'll just go in with some pins right into the center of the ponytail. And those are just gonna go right down through the middle of the elastic. So this is almost gonna give the hair in the ponytail something to rest on so that the volume doesn't fall. Okay, and then to finish, I'm just gonna do my detailing. So some things you wanna be aware of when creating this look. You wanna make sure that your sides are directed up, and you want the majority of your volume to be here in the center on the top. And then when it comes to the ponytail, just make sure your ends are straight and you just have a little bit of bend through there. And then I'm just gonna go around and double check everything and make sure it's looking good.